Hello everybody. So it's been a while since I actually made a video, but one more pertaining towards having to be more self-aware of not only where you're going, where you're growing, but how to, I guess, move into the next phase of your life, however, whichever, whatever direction or path that may be. It's one that is not necessarily always up to us to choose exactly what direction we'll go in, but overall, it's been a lot. It's been a lot going on. I haven't been really open about my location, about where I'm at, mostly because of privacy and safety, and also until I find a long-term situation, I can't really I don't want to give too much details, you know? But basically, I sold my car and I flew across the US all the way to the other side, literally coast to coast. And I only came with a suitcase, only came with my book bag, my electronics, and pretty much my whole life, I guess you could say. But it's really only a part of it, you know? I'm at the skate park right now, by the way, and honestly, I didn't know where to go. I just really wanted to sit down and chill and relax somewhere, so I ended up here. Honestly, this place is pretty chill, you know? I feel like I don't think I necessarily want to stay here in terms of living, but I basically have been visiting different sections of the place where I'm at now, just trying to see what works the best, and basically where I would see myself being long term, you know? Obviously the number in my bank account doesn't really represent what I want it to be or where I want it to be at this moment. However, I ultimately know what it is that I want to feel. I know what it is that I want to accomplish, and I know what I came here for. So it's more so a matter of just really listening to my intuition and seeing where it takes me. When I tell you guys, I'm getting over a little sinus sickness thing or whatever, because the air here is much different. Basically the places that I was staying in, they didn't really have air purifiers, and it was very dusty, it was very dry, and I can't really deal with that type of air. I'm used to having an air purifier and things all like that. So it's I knew that when making this transition, I was going to be sacrificing partially my comfort, which ultimately I don't want my comfort to be sacrificed completely. At the end of the day, I don't want for things to stay the same. I don't want things to, I guess, pan out this way for very long, which is why I know partially I'm mostly supposed to be surrendering, resting, and getting integrated with where I'm at just in general. And that's mostly because I've been through a lot, you know? You guys only see a fraction of what my life is, for real. But honestly, not that I would, but if y'all knew everything, it would just be a whole entire movie, quite honestly. It would be a lot. And just a little update of my situation, because I know that I haven't really spoken to y'all since my last video, which I still have yet to upload. I'm probably gonna upload it whenever I get some Wi-Fi or wherever I'm at currently, so that I can figure that out. But honestly, things have been a lot, to say the least, you know? It's not been easy, and I know that this wasn't supposed to be easy when I first started off. I know that things were going to take time to develop. Things are going to take time. But honestly, I have been, neglecting other parts of myself in terms of my routines, my self-care, just being more diligent on the things that I already do on a daily basis to make sure that I am in a state of alignment, and I'm in connection with myself, and I can, think clearly, and move from a space of, I guess, knowing or confidence. And I will say that I kind of let go of that a little bit, which I think is also to be expected. I know that when I told myself I was going to make this move, that it was going to be, I was susceptible to making mistakes. And I just remembered that I forgot my water. Damn, it's okay. But yeah, basically, I just knew that I was going to make mistakes. I knew that it was, I was going to regress a little bit. And, certain childhood wounds were going to come up again. And I think that it's very unfair and impossible for me to not go through those things, but also even more unfair to myself to criticize myself for going through those things, because of the fact that, this is something that I've never done before. Nobody in my family has ever done before, other than, like, you could say, I don't know, you could say, like, my mom is an immigrant. She immigrated from Dominican Republic to the US when she was young, and you could say that, that's similar. But at the same time, there was things set in place in order to support her in that transition. And like for me, I don't have any plan. I don't have anything to fall back on. I don't really have many family members here. I'm really just doing this on my own. So it's a lot more difficult. And there's not really anyone that I could talk to about these things in order for them to really understand my situation, other than believing that I'm crazy. Because obviously, like, anybody that, like, I don't know, I wouldn't say just anybody, but just the majority of people would not be doing the things that I'm doing. And I think that's for a reason, I think that's part of expressing and part of taking risks and a part of, choosing yourself and your happiness above all else is something that takes risk, is something that includes, sacrificing. It's something that involves you having to let go of so many parts of yourselves that you used to identify with, that used to keep you safe, but they're no longer keeping you safe. They're no longer allowing you to grow as a person. They're no longer allowing you to expand, to dream, to be authentic. And to me, that is the same thing as being in a jail cell. A lot of people could say a lot of things when it comes to my bad. They just blew the whistle. They said they was closing the skate park or whatever, but I had to leave a lot of my belongings back there. So, like, a lot of the things that not only would provide me comfort, but things that would, provide me entertainment. I couldn't bring my guitar. I couldn't bring my skates. Anything else, really. I just really brought mostly what the essentials were, but even then it was hard for me to really figure out what that was. I also swore to, like, quit, like, smoking when it comes to, like, gardening, if y'all know what I mean. And I had basically wanted to try the gardening, the flowers from here, but honestly, it wasn't something that was super like, oh my gosh, this changed my life, like, if I was without this, I would be, I wouldn't know what to do. Like, I definitely was okay. I didn't have to, So, again, it's a lot of things that I'm learning. It's a lot of things that I'm processing, a lot of things that I'm just working through in order for me to kind of make it through the situation, make it to the other side, and just find out exactly who I am, learn more about the things that I'm capable of, and exploring, connections with other people that I've never met before, people that I've never been around, spaces I've never been around. And it's all a learning process. And it's something that is going to take time. And as much as, like, the part of taking time is difficult because there's a lot of uncertainty, like, just in the meantime of, thinking about things and going through the motions, not really knowing where I'm gonna sleep at night, only having so much, money with me in order to support and take care of things while I am here. Like, it's just a lot of stuff to think about. It's a lot of like, I guess you could say like materialistic possessions, or I guess like from the outside, besides who I am and my vessel, my being, there's a lot of things outside of that that don't exactly align with where I want to be. And because of that, it's really difficult for me to not think, or to have some doubt, or to have some fear, or to have some, whatever it may be, because of the fact that like this has never been done before. And I think that instead of, like forcing myself to not like think the way that I'm thinking, or force myself to not feel or to process the things that I've been feeling, is unfair to myself, mostly because it's gonna happen regardless. I gotta think about the situation that I'm in, and also just be considerate of myself, be considerate of my growth and my path, and also know that I have to breathe, I have to relax, I have to be present, I have to heal, I have to do what I have to do, So it's a lot. It's a lot that I have to work through. But I know that ultimately things will be okay. At the end of everything, things will truly be okay. Things will work out for my highest favor. And I have to believe that as well. I have to believe so. If I don't believe that that is true, then obviously it's not going to work out, because that's just the law of attraction. That's just based on how the universe really reacts to the way we respond to our environment, and the way we respond to changes of environment and stimulus and things like that.
What's that? Where your brother? He was balling on Saturday.
So, yeah, my bad if there's a lot of noise in the back. There's a lot of people around here, but yeah, things are not easy. None of this is supposed to be easy, but if anything, if it helps at all, that yes, although there's no one that has done this before, I will be my own representation of that, which I feel like is very powerful in itself. That ultimately, as much as I don't know who's gone through this, who survived, I feel like if I can get through this, I'll feel like I can get through anything, and I've already made it this far. I have to give myself credit that I've already made it this far. I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, I'm still pushing, and ultimately a lot of my needs have been met, having food in my belly, having clothes on my back, being able to shower, being able to do laundry. And all these things happened when I least expected it to. That's like the thing, that when it comes to making a transition or a change such as this one, there's going to be things that are brought into your path that you're not expecting or really thinking that is going to happen. That's the whole point. You're not really supposed to know every single thing that's going to happen in your life before it happens, because that takes away from the surprise. It takes away from the life factor, the feelings of life, the dichotomy, the ranging emotions, the raging feelings, just everything that you can experience, So ultimately, it is difficult, but we're gonna get through it, because there quite literally is no other option but to get through it, Sometimes I really wish that I had someone to just give me a hug and tell me that it's gonna be all good, That sometimes I wish that I had more community. I wish I had more friends. And that's why I gotta put myself out there, to find those people. But also, you know, as with any other place, there's a lot of people here that are very superficial, they're very materialistic, and they very much like, they just don't care. They also are very quick to judge and to stereotype as well, which is, you know, not much different from Ohio, but like, you know, it's like you get it from all sides. Like everybody, every single race, every single, you know, socioeconomic class, they're all going to be taking shots at you. And it's to the point where you literally have to be bulletproof at that point. You have to just let it roll off your shoulder, because if they don't know you, they literally can't say or judge you or assume anything because they don't know you, you know? But yeah, I feel like this one's gonna be pretty short. I'm gonna keep y'all updated for just anything else in the future, but I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day here while I have it. Relax, breathe, be present, you know, figure out what I'm gonna eat tonight, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. You know, you guys are gonna come along with me in this journey as much as I am in it as well. So yeah, all right, I love you guys. I wish you the best. Take care of yourselves, be at peace, have grace for yourself, have gratitude, and trust that all will be okay in the end. All right, bye my loves. I'll see y'all. Bye bye.